Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Never Eat the Human First, written by TRMerc. Forward. This is my log from when I was the first officer on the cargo ship Frackalot. I've decided not to remove or alter any of the entries and have made the appropriate apologies, so don't get angry with me. My mind was on survival above all else. First Officer's Log 6146.489.654. I'm surprised I'm able to make this recording, as the trap we found ourselves in was a good one. 4 pirate vessels pulled us out of FTL and got the jump on us. A couple lucky shots took out the bridge of 2 of them early, and the rest took some time. Unfortunately, the captain fell out of his chair and he's no longer with us. While we managed to destroy the pirate ships, our ship was nearly destroyed as well, and might soon be. Our engines are offline, maneuvering thrusters offline, FTL comms offline, and I was told so is the coffee maker, which is a real shame. Hopefully my next entry will contain some better news. First Officer's Log 614.489.657. We have some good news. One of the pirate ships we destroyed turned out to be adrift alongside us, close enough that we could use our suits to get over there and salvage some parts. We also found 3 pirates who managed to get to a bunk and lock themselves in. They are trapped there and begging for help. I'm going to take a vote amongst the crew, as there are some who don't feel right leaving them there to die. One suggested that we force open the doors and speed things along. I like to think that we're better than that, so we'll vote. First Officer's Log 6146.489.658. The vote wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. We pressurized the area on the other side of the door with the suits for them. 2 Darth Vass and a Boarcat. The Boarcat might be a problem as they are a brutish species, but this one seems to be more interested in survival than being the strongest, and the Darth Vass might be cunning, but they know that we are the best chance at survival. Won't try anything until we are close to being rescued. Surprisingly, our human came up with a brilliant idea. We have no way of telling the ships that come into the area which way we went, so we're going to release some unshielded containers with enough radioactive material to last 20 years. I believe he called it breadcrumbs. I'm not sure how the crumbs of food item are going to help us. First Officer's Log 6146.489.661. I'm glad that we voted to help the pirate survivors. Well, not up to code. They had a fix that got our maneuvering and landing thrusters online, which is good because it appears our current trajectory is going to take us into a gravity well of a planet. The only good thing about that is the planet appears to have a breathable atmosphere. At least, that is what our scans and information the pirates have told us. We should have arrived at the port today. Hopefully they'll send out a search patrol and find us before we even make the planetfall tomorrow. First Officer's Log 6146.489.668. Finally got this thing working again. It seems that for every bad thing that happens, a good thing does as well. And so, we're the other way around. We got ambushed and take out too quickly, win the battle, lost the captain, got thrusters working, unable to change course in time to avoid a crashing. Everyone survives the crash. Our food preservation box breaks. We ate what we could before it spoiled and have enough emergency rations to last a week. But I'm afraid the carnivore species are going to have to make a tough choice. And the herbivore species already know it, I feel. They are getting nervous. But it makes more sense to eat one of the carnivore members first, as the plants are not deadly to the others. We might pick the human first, even though he is an omnivore. First Officer's Log 6146.489.671. I think the human knew what was being planned because he vanished into the forest 2 days ago, then hasn't returned. Now scanners are picking up his vital signs, so we know he's still alive, but we can't locate him. I was almost going to talk the others into choosing someone else, as it was like the human was such a boost to morale. Talking about how this was just like back home during the scout days. I didn't even know that he was in the military. Called himself a Eagle rank. Humans are a primitive species, so it must be a tribal thing. The strange thing is, if he was planning on abandoning us, why didn't he take the water system he built? First Officer's Log 6146.489.671. I was wrong about Bill. the human. He returned with the cart that he had half finished the day before he left, but this was finished, and he had a large creature from the planet on top of it. We aren't sure how he brought down the creature or even loaded it onto the cart. We know humans come from a world with high gravity, but I think it wasn't that high. Even more confusing is that after we prepared the creature, it turned out to be a predatory species. That was when Bill informed us that while the local wildlife of this home planet does get the better of humans sometimes, but humans are the apex predators of their world. I thought it was a joke until I saw it with my own eyes. He got a lot more respect from me. None of us informed him what we had planned. First Officer's Log 6146.489.671. Bill continues to amaze us with his wilderness survival skills, as he calls them. Apparently, the scout role that he was talking about wasn't a military training. It was a youth group, and the Eagle is the highest rank one can achieve in the organization. When things started, we were forced to take shelter in the ship's debris that had crashed. But with his guidance, we now have personal quarters for each of us, a dining hall, and water showers that he should have heated in a couple of days. The most surprising thing about all of this is how he hasn't used electricity in any of these constructions. Of course, we are using salvaged heating coils instead of the biofuel that he planned to cook our food. First Officer's Log 6146.489.682. Never go hunting with a human. I thought I was going to die, not from the beast that we were after. It would run away, and he figured that was it. But he followed the creature without using a scanner. We walked for 10 hours. Eventually, we told him to scout ahead and that we'd catch up. He came back the next day with the creature that we were tracking, and we returned to camp. He said he was going to go for a hike to see what else he could find. I don't know how his legs are still working after all of that. First Officer's Log 6146.489.674. Remember how I said I had more respect for the human? I take it back. I can't respect someone who is clearly insane upon further review. On his hike, he came across a young beast that was similar to one we killed in his first hunt. But instead of killing the thing, he brought it back as a pet. Said the creature's mother had died at the bottom of the cliff, and it was alone. The strange thing is I think the little beast bonded to the human. He said it was okay to pet it, but I nearly lost a finger. He seems attached to the young beast, so I'll have to figure out a way to kill it without him realizing it was me. First Officer's Log 6146.489.676. That creature the human brought back has been terrorizing the crew. It stalks the others, and a few have had bite wounds. Well, the herbivore members are terrified of it. The others seem to be warming up, as the creature seems to enjoy when you slide your hand over its back and gently scratch behind its ears. It even started to walk up to people and gently tap its foreleg against them until they gave it a pet or scratch behind the ear. A few times it has scared crew members by getting what the human called the zoomies. It is impressive to see how agile it is as it runs between legs and furniture, though it has knocked a few things over. It is hard to yell at the creature when it lowers its muzzle and looks up at you with those big, sad eyes. First Officer's Log 6146.489.678. Fang has grown on me, as Bill said it would. It is true at first I was ready to kill the little warg. I believe that is what we decided on based on the description given. She was very aggressive towards everyone at first, but after socializing with the others, she seemed to view them as part of her pack. She doesn't even stalk the herbivore crew members anymore, though she doesn't seem to get along with the boarcat still. She has also grown quite a lot in the past few days, which tracks with how much she eats. We had to go on extra hunting trips just to feed her. First Officer's Log 6146.489.680. I knew the pirates would be a problem, but I never thought the Davas would be the ones to be the loyal ones. It was rough at first, but the crew had started treating them like one of our own, which is why when Boarcat tried to smash my head in while I was asleep, it came as a surprise. Didn't even try to deny it. Said if we had just died like good weaklings, they would have been rich, and he wouldn't be stuck on this planet with us. He broke free and tried to dig his claws into my neck, but Vang was quicker and sunk her teeth into his. I was planning on rewarding her with him as a meal, but was told it would be bad to let her think that eating people she killed was okay. So we ended up tossing the body off a cliff. First Officer's Log 6146.489.684. Things have finally come to an end. We received a subspace transmission from a rescue ship that was heading to our location yesterday. It turns out the trail of radioactive containers helped lead them to us, and the Darvas have been asking if I would speak on their behalf. I'm inclined, as I thought they would try to sabotage the radio equipment or kill us in our sleep after finding out. Bill is also nervous, but only because he doesn't want to give Fang up, who he has been riding on his hunts, as she is apparently as big as an Earth horse now. I did talk to him in private, as I needed to come clean about what we talked about when we first crashed, and how, if he hadn't left to go hunting that first time, we probably would have eaten him. He took it surprisingly well, and I won't tell the authorities that his right hook hurts. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnold, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrakal. Thank you very much.